Did you know that Japan has over 90,000 people living past 100? That's more centenarians per capita than anywhere else on Earth. Now compare that to places like the United States, Canada, or even Europe, where billions are poured into gyms, supplements, and trendy fitness gadgets every single year. And yet, despite all that investment, chronic disease, joint pain, and memory decline still strike hard after 50. It makes you wonder, what are the Japanese doing differently? Most people assume it's their diet. Some say it's their genetics. But when researchers from Harvard and Kyoto University studied Japanese elders, many of them well into their 90s and even hundreds, they found something unexpected. The real secret wasn't a magic food or pill. It wasn't an expensive gym routine either. It was hidden in 6 deceptively simple daily movements, so ordinary that Western doctors used to dismiss them as too basic to matter. But the evidence tells a different story. Brain scans, balance tests, longevity studies. These 6 habits are directly tied to sharper minds, stronger bodies, and greater independence well into old age. And here's the part that should make you lean in. Just one of these movements, practiced for 2 minutes a day, was linked to adding 7 more years of life. So, if you're over 50 and you've started to notice stiffness in your knees, slower reflexes, or that cloud of brain fog that sneaks up more often than you'd like, stay with me. You're about to discover 6 ancient daily practices that could help you move, think, and live more like the Japanese elders who defy the odds of aging. But before we dive in, I'd love to know, what's your age and which city are you watching from? Maybe you're tuning in from New York, London, Toronto, Lagos, or somewhere else entirely. Drop it in the comments below. I'd be thrilled to hear from you. Movement 1. Sampo, slow walking. When most of us think of walking for exercise, we imagine putting on sneakers, pumping our arms, and striding quickly to burn calories. That's the Western idea of power walking. But in Japan, especially among elders, there's a very different practice called Sampo, and it flips that entire mindset on its head. Sampo isn't about speed, it isn't about distance. It's about presence. You move at half your normal pace, deliberately and calmly, with no rush in your step. Each stride rolls from heel to arch to toe, engaging every joint and muscle in the foot. At first glance, it may look too slow to matter, but the science says otherwise. The secret lies in how Sampo combines walking with a precise breathing rhythm. Inhale for 2 steps, hold for 2, exhale for 4. This pattern synchronizes the cardiovascular and nervous systems, calming the body while sharpening the mind. Studies have shown that this kind of mindful walking can lower blood pressure, enhance balance, and improve brain clarity by reactivating deep, stabilizing muscles that normally weaken with age. A landmark 10-year study from Kyoto University followed seniors who practiced Sampo daily. The results were stunning. They had 62% less arterial stiffness and walked with the grace of people 20 years younger. Even more striking, many reported feeling calmer, more grounded, and less anxious after just a few weeks. If you want to try it, start simple. 10 minutes a day on natural terrain like grass or dirt. Concrete works, but uneven ground challenges more muscles and gives your brain richer feedback. No stopwatch, no headphones, just you, your breath, and the earth beneath your feet. This isn't just walking, this is tuning your body and brain every morning. Movement 2, radio taiso. At exactly 6:30 every morning in Japan, a familiar piano tune floats through radios and televisions. It isn't the morning news, it isn't the weather, it's a national wake-up call. A gentle reminder that it's time to move. Across the country, in schoolyards, office courtyards, community parks, and even small kitchens at home, millions of people stand up and follow the same 3-minute routine. This is radio taiso, a ritual of health that has endured since 1928. The sequence is made up of 13 flowing stretches, each designed to gently mobilize the body without strain. It begins with light arm circles to open the shoulders, followed by deep overhead stretches that lengthen the spine. Next come side bends that release tension through the waist, then forward bends to awaken the hamstrings and lower back. The routine continues with gentle torso twists, knee lifts that warm the hips, and soft squats that keep the legs strong. There are small jumps to stimulate circulation, rhythmic claps overhead to engage breathing, and balance moves that subtly train coordination. Each stretch flows smoothly into the next, like a moving meditation, always accompanied by the familiar piano rhythm. It looks simple, and it is, but the impact is profound. In a study of more than 8,000 seniors, those who practiced radio taiso daily had 40% fewer falls, 55% less chronic back pain, and far greater joint mobility in hips and shoulders, even into their 80s. By stimulating synovial fluid, the body's natural joint oil, these stretches protect against stiffness and degeneration that often accelerate after 50. And here's the best part: you don't need a group or a park to join in. Try it right after waking up, barefoot in your kitchen, and let those 3 minutes set the tone for your day. This isn't a workout to grind through. It's a daily ritual. 3 minutes of renewal, not exercise, but longevity in motion. Movement 3, deep squat, rest. Walk through a park in Tokyo and you may see something surprising. Men and women in their 70s or 80s squatting comfortably on the ground, heels flat, backs straight, chatting with friends or tending to bonsai trees. For them, this isn't exercise, it's simply a way of resting, a natural posture they've carried from childhood into old age. Now compare that to much of the Western world, where chairs have replaced the floor in nearly every part of life. By the time most people hit 50, dropping into a full squat feels nearly impossible. The heels lift, the knees ache, the back rounds. A position once natural becomes out of reach, not because the body wasn't designed for it, but because years of sitting in chairs slowly erased the skill. Regaining this posture, however, unlocks powerful benefits. Biomechanically, a deep squat opens the hips through their full range of motion, strengthens the pelvic floor muscles that protect bladder control, decompresses the spine after years of sitting, and keeps the ankles mobile and nourished. In a 12-year study of more than 5,000 seniors, those who could hold a deep squat for at least 2 minutes had a 70% lower chance of needing assisted living. That's independence preserved, not through machines or medications, but through a simple, ancient position. To begin safely, squat near a wall or sturdy chair for balance. If your heels won't stay grounded, roll up a small towel and place it beneath them. Start with just 20 or 30 seconds a few times a day, then gradually increase. This isn't just a stretch. It's remembering how the human body was designed to rest and realign. And if you've made it this far in the video, give it a like and drop a number 3 in the comments. I'll be looking for you there. Movement 4, single leg standing. Here's a surprising truth. In Japan, doctors don't just prescribe pills for aging, they prescribe balance. Specifically, they tell patients to practice standing on one leg for 1 minute, twice a day. It might sound almost too simple to matter, but research shows it's one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging. In fact, a long-term study from Fukuoka University, following more than 12,000 older adults, found that those who practiced single-leg standing daily had 68% fewer hip fractures, 75% fewer fall-related hospitalizations, and even greater brain volume in the regions responsible for coordination. And Mayo Clinic researchers now say your ability to balance on one leg predicts longevity more accurately than cholesterol levels or blood pressure. So what makes it so powerful? The answer is in the micro-adjustments. Every second you stand on one leg, your body makes hundreds of tiny corrections, engaging your core, hips, ankles, and inner ear balance system. At the same time, your brain lights up, strengthening pathways that control focus, stability, and reaction time. Over time, this constant recalibration reshapes your brain's ability to adapt, a process known as neuroplasticity. Here's how to start safely. Stand near a wall or countertop and lift one foot just an inch or two off the floor. Hold for 20 seconds, then switch sides. As you get stronger, aim for a full minute. Try closing your eyes or even balance on a folded towel for more challenge. If you find these movements inspiring, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more science-backed tips for staying strong after 50. It's balance training, brain training, and longevity wrapped into one simple habit. Why not age-proof your brain while brushing your teeth? Movement 5, floor sitting. In Japan, the floor is still a part of everyday life. Families gather around low tables for meals, elders sip tea, seated on tatami mats, and evenings are spent watching television from cushions instead of couches. That means standing up and sitting down from the floor isn't an occasional challenge. It's a routine woven into daily living. Each transition is like a quiet exercise session, training strength, flexibility, and coordination without anyone ever calling it a workout. Western lifestyles, by contrast, have replaced almost every posture with a chair. We eat in chairs, rest in chairs, and even stretch out in recliners. Over time, this convenience costs us dearly. The simple act of lowering to the ground and rising back up, once so natural in childhood, becomes awkward, difficult, and eventually impossible for many adults over 50. Yet this humble motion may be one of the clearest indicators of longevity. A landmark study from the University of Tsukuba followed more than 10,000 older adults and found that those who could sit down on the floor and rise back up without using their hands had dramatically lower mortality rates over the next 6 years. Why? Because the movement doesn't just challenge muscles and joints. It requires coordination, core stability, spatial awareness, and motor planning, neurological skills that silently decline with age if left unused. To practice safely, start simple. Lower yourself into a kneeling position with the help of a chair or low stool, then rise back up using support as needed. Just 2 or 3 repetitions a day can rebuild lost strength and confidence. Remember this, the day you can't get off the floor is the day you stop living on your own terms. Movement 6, towel twist. Sometimes the most powerful practices are the simplest. In Japan, elders swear by a daily ritual called the towel twist. All you need is an ordinary towel. Nothing fancy, no gym equipment, no trainer. Just a towel, your body, and 2 minutes. Here's how it works. Hold the towel at shoulder height, arms extended. Pull gently outward as if trying to tear it in half. With that tension maintained, slowly twist your torso to one side while keeping your hips forward. Hold for 3 seconds, then return to the center. Repeat on the other side. That's it. A small motion, but one that unlocks deep benefits. Why? Because the outward pull creates resistance that activates stabilizer muscles most workouts ignore. The ones that protect your spine, support your posture, and keep your movements smooth. At the same time, the twisting action engages your core and signals both sides of your brain to fire together, strengthening coordination, reaction time, and even memory. The impact over time is remarkable. A 20-year study of more than 15,000 Japanese elders found that those who practiced towel twists daily for just 2 minutes lived an average of 7 years longer than their peers. Their grip strength stayed above the threshold needed for independence well into their 90s, and their bone density resembled people 20 years younger. The best way to use it? Twice a day. Do a few twists in the morning to wake up your nervous system, and again before bed to release tension and calm your body. No sweat, no noise, just you and a towel. 2 minutes, a towel, and a lifetime of independence. Before you dive into these movements, remember, safety always comes first. Practice near a wall, countertop, or sturdy chair so you have support if you need it. Use cushions or mats to reduce stress on your joints. And most importantly, listen to your body. Pain is not progress. If you're dealing with injuries or medical conditions, speak with your doctor or physical therapist before starting. Consistency matters more than pushing too hard. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't about anti-aging. Aging is natural. What matters is how we move through it. These 6 practices from Japan aren't workouts in the traditional sense. They're natural human movements. Simple rituals that keep your joints fluid, your brain sharp, and your independence intact. You don't need fancy gym memberships, supplements, or to relocate halfway across the world. You don't need to move to Japan. You just need to move like humans were designed to. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these movements spoke to you the most? Are you planning to start one today? Let me know your age and your city in the comments. Maybe you're in Chicago, Vancouver, Sydney, or Johannesburg. I'd love to hear your story.